I don't like people to know me at all. And I just recently trust him because the same much I trust him, I guess he trusts me. And he trusts me a lot. So, and nobody really knows Mike Tyson. Nobody's really friendly with Mike Tyson. Why? Except Customato.
And I started believing in this old man. He broke me down and rebuilt me. I was just like a total different person.
Mostly it just changed my life because he helped me to deal with people. I know how to deal with people now. Before, I couldn't talk to people. I always want to be alone. And now I learned how to deal with anyone. I could talk to anyone, even about their problems. And it's like a father and son relationship. You know, even though he is my manager and trainer. The first day he met me, he took me in his house. He didn't even know me.
Okay.
I can say honestly, I have a very deep affection for him, I do. To me, he's my boy, he's with me. But I often say to him, you know, I owe you a lot, and he doesn't know what I mean, but I'm going to tell him now what I mean. If he weren't here, I probably wouldn't be alive today. The fact that he is here and doing what he's doing, and doing as well as he's doing, and improving as he has, gives me the motivation and interest to stay alive. Because I believe that a person dies when they no longer wants to live. But I have a reason with Mike here, and he gives me the motivation. I will stay alive, and I will watch him become a success.
He has the ability, he has the potential, and most of all, he has the desire. He really wants to be a champion. I'm a champion for the same reason my boys become champions. I'm very determined. I believe in what I'm doing, and I can't be dissuaded. I cannot be dissuaded.
I was born with great perception. It came from my street life, from being locked up for stealing and facing unbelievable odds as a young kid. I had great perception. And once I watched these guys fight, I just knew it was a matter of time, but I knew my time would soon come. I knew I would obtain my goal before it existed. I knew that. I knew I would be champ of the world before I died. I knew I wasn't going to die before I became champ. You know, dying is just as glorious as living when you really think about it, because you couldn't have a life if you didn't have death, and you couldn't have death without life. So how could death be less glorious than life?
Customato died, I was in New York City. I was in the Manhattan section of New York City, Lower East Side. I was accompanied by Jimmy Jacobs, who was my manager at the time. And he had told me that within 10 hours, Cus would be dead. And we have to go to the bank and deposit some money. It was some money that I had made for my fight, a few $100,000, and he had said we have to deposit some money. So we went to the bank, and I was at the bank depositing money, and I was just crying, just crying out, just crying, and crying, and crying. And the lady at the bank was, I was hysterical. The lady at the bank had asked, "What is wrong? Is everything all right?" And Jim Jacobs had explained that we had lost a good friend of ours had died, or will be dying shortly, and he's handling it very rough. And I was just very hysterical. And Jim Jacobs was cool as ice, nothing fazed him. But to me, it was like I lost my whole life. I didn't know where to go from there. I can remember being at Customato's funeral. I was a pallbearer there. You know, I was very proud to be a pallbearer for him. And I was just 19 years old. I didn't know what to do with my life. There was news cameras there, there were reporters there. And I was just saying, I don't have my friend no more. I was very scared, I felt very vulnerable. I felt lonely, I just felt naked to the world. I just felt like a very vulnerable young boy. And It was just a real horrific time for me in my life. I was just a young boy at 19, and I didn't have the chance to let Cus see the prospects of me growing as a heavyweight champion. A boy comes to me with a spark of interest. I feed that spark and it becomes a flame. I feed the flame and it becomes a fire. I feed the fire and it becomes a roaring blaze.
Big Mike Tyson in the ring, set for that next step toward that goal, and standing in his path tonight.
Here's Mike Tyson.
Left hook, good night.
In March of 1998, Mike Tyson filed a $100 million lawsuit against Don King. How exactly did this happen? Iron Mike claimed Don King had stolen roughly $100 million from him over the past 10 years. For example, Iron Mike's lawyer alleged that Don King charged Tyson hundreds of thousands of dollars in consultants' fees to his wife and 2 sons every fight.
In 2003, the life of Iron Mike was thrown into turmoil once again. One of the greatest boxers of all time was declared bankrupt.
What's my ex-life? That's just how I live my life. That's my addictive personality.
Recently, Tyson has even stated his boxing comeback at the grand old age of 53.
So, Tyson, when I first had him, he was 190 pounds, nothing but muscle, 12 years old. Okay, that's what he was. But that's what he was. I mean, that's what God made him.
That's crazy.
So I go down there and I put the first fight. Nobody's seen Tyson. Nobody's ever seen Tyson. But 12 years old, 0 fights. Okay. Teddy, now you go too far. You lie more than us. But I knew what I had. Like I said, I knew what I had. So I fought a 17-year-old. I wasn't going to fight no 12-year-old. That wasn't going to happen.
Right.
And plus, I get arrested for murder. So,
what was he like at 12 years old?
Physically, mentally weak, but physically, what do I mean mentally weak? Not weak for the average guy, but for a fighter, he still had remnants. He still had residual stuff from his upbringing. Listen, you want to know the truth about the guy? I mean, you hear all this. Tyson's talent was so great. His physical ability, his talent was so overwhelming, just like somebody's intellect, just somebody's charisma, whatever, beauty, until it came to something else. But his talent was so superior that the other stuff never got tested. He was blowing guys out, and it never got tested if there was anything in the warehouse, so to speak. If there was anything inside. You never knew. And then 5 times, whatever the real record is, 5 times there was resistance. 5 times it became a real fight. 5 times there was something to overcome. And he failed all 5 times. He was only in 5 fights in his life. And he's 0-5. I'm sorry. Sour grapes, because we know my history with him, right? Am I capable of that? Yeah, I'm human, yeah. But I can honestly tell you that I try to be better than that. That I don't think that you know crap about somebody until they're tested. You don't know if they're your friend. You don't know if they're a good wife. You don't know if they're a good girlfriend. You don't know crap. You think you do, but until they're really tested, you don't really know. And Tyson, when he got tested, when he had to overcome something, when he didn't run him over like one of those big monster trucks running over a Volkswagen, because he was a monster truck with Volkswagens. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. And was he one of the greatest punchers of all time? Yeah, yes. Could he punch from either side of the plate like Mickey Mantle, the greatest switch hitter? Was he that in body? Yes. He could punch evenly, great with either hand from either side. Was he all those things? Yes. Was he as great an intimidator as Sonny Liston? Yes. Was he a great finisher like Joe Louis to a certain extent? Yes. But he wasn't a great fighter. Because great fighters, when the fight came to them, they found a way to do what they had to do.